Welcome. This is the 38th video in the martial poetry series. So this video we're going to be talking about the drunken boxing movement of roll the barrel. So the movement looks like this. It's a repeatable movement where you can start on one side and then alternate to the other side. So the idea with this, and we talked about in previous episodes with the idea and concept of the barrel, is it's like your pungent from Taijiquan. It's this idea of maintaining this sense of expansion force within the arms so you're not easily crushed, right? So that's the idea of the barrel. But with this movement in the poetry here is talking about it and trying to convey a slightly different idea. Not that it's different, but it's conveying the idea to get another principle out. So the idea of rolling the barrel, through this movement, I'm actually conceptually hugging a barrel, right? And I take the barrel underneath and I take it, and I take a big drink out of the barrel, and then I come to the other side. Now, if you ever held a jar or barrel of wine, you'll know it's very heavy, right? And especially heavy with all that water weight. It's not staying in one spot, it's sloshing the barrel or sloshing the wine jug. So the concept here, right? If you're holding it the whole time, you have to maintain that weight and maintain that water weight for that matter. So while you're here, you have to have some form of structure. One of the things that people misunderstand about drunken boxing is they think that it lacks structure, it lacks structural integrity, but that's actually one of its tricks, right? The idea of drunken boxing is that it appears one way, but is another, right? So it appears loose and floppy, but it actually hits heavy and very strong. Not strong as in muscular strong, but it's all of the weight going through. So in this instance, drunken boxing may appear to lack structure, but it actually maintains structure. So I've talked again in another video, and this can be a follow-up for that one, of lift the barrel, where it's this position here. We've talked about how in reverse structure, which is what that bending over backwards is, there's actually structural integrity there. It's just a little bit exaggerated from what you normally see in, say, Taijiquan, for example. In this movement, you're going in and out of reverse structure, changing from one to the next seamlessly, hopefully. So you're taking that structure to its absolute limits and trying to maintain it. So here, I need to have structure, and as if I'm actually holding this barrel up, right? And then as I take it through, right, I'm starting to turn myself into reverse structure. I need to maintain that structure throughout, and then through here too. So you need to have structure throughout the whole thing. There should never be a moment where your structure's gone. So say here I'm in a normal quote-unquote structure, and then here I'm in reverse structure, and then here I'm in normal structure. But all that movement in between reverse and normal structure, I need to have structure there. Because otherwise, it would be like if I was fighting with an actual opponent, right? I'm very strong in one moment, but then very weak in another, and then very strong in another moment, and then weak in another. And you never want those moments of weakness where you lack structure, because those are the moments that your opponent will realize and finish you, right? You never want holes in the structure. So this movement is all about learning how to take the unorthodox structure of drunken boxing and then applying it into a more fluid situation where you're going through quote-unquote normal structure and then reverse structure and seamlessly transitioning between the two. Because if you can learn how to structure in this position, great, but it's only going to help you if you're in this position. How do I get out of this position and into another position, right? So you need to learn how to have structure in those movements in between. So that's really what this is trying to convey. It's essentially trying to take a principle that we would learn earlier in drunken boxing and make it more difficult for the purposes of training and increasing our ability with that principle. So we're taking the principle of structure and taking it through movement. So that is roll the barrel from drunken boxing. See you in the next video.